Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Berkeley Vale on the sunny central coast of New South Wales. Bar TV Sports live coverage of the Central Coast Rugby League Tooheys Cup preliminary final. The entrants taking on Erina for a spot in the grand final next weekend at Woy Woy. Dan McCamley in commentary, joined by his brother Tim McCamley, and Tim, should be an absolute cracker this one, nothing between these two sides.
Yeah, Mother Nature's turned on a good one here today. The sun's coming out for the game. Hard to find a car park in the car park, but the crowd is starting to build.
The entrants versus Erina, they played each other twice this year. Round 2, Erina ran out 18 points to 14 winners. Then in round 11, it was the entrants 17 defeating Erina 16. By the single point. As I said, not much between these two teams. We'll run through the two lineups now. We'll start with the entrance Tigers. They're coached by Shane Wooden. At fullback, Grant Nelson. On the wings, Matt Nelson and Perry LeBrock. In the centres, Harley Ridge and Sean Corrigan. At 5'8", Will Pearsall. At halfback and in the 14 jersey today, Sione Tonga. In the front row, Noah Easton and Mitch A. Church. At hooker, Matt Killick. In the back row, Jacob McCudden, Jay Florimo, and locking down the scrum is Ryan Doherty. On the interchange bench today for the entrants, Luke Chant, Matt Fisk, Jake Woods and Tim Nwangatabu. The Erina Eagles, they're coached by Dane Allen. At fullback, Lewis Sheens. On the wings, Mitch Deegan and Dane Marson. In the centres, Brandon Shoveler and Danny Lawrence. At 5'8", Connor O'Byrne. And at halfback, Jake Fitzpatrick. In the front row and in the 20 jersey, Kenny Tafata and Tim Burrell. In the 10 at hooker, Steve Pont. In the back row, Trent Pye and John O'Wright. And locking down the scrum, Oliver Clements. On the interchange bench today for Erina, Toby Elliott, Bailey Scott, Tyler O'Brien and Joel Fraser. They're the two lineups, Tim. Seen these two teams play the last couple of weeks. The front row rotation for the entrants. They're a big pack, and that'll be key today. If Erina can hold them in check, they'll go a long way to making the grand final.
Yeah, look, both teams will probably see this as a failure if they don't make the grand final. Both got very strong lineups. The chance to take on the red-hot favourites in the grand final, Wyong. So a lot on the line, and both coaches will be very nervous because it'll be seen as a failure if they don't make the grand final.
Now let's see how we got here. So week 1 of the finals for Erina, they defeated Kincumber 38-32. Jumped out to, I think, a 24 or 26 point lead at one point there. Erina just took the foot off the gas and let Kincumber back into it. And in the end, they held on for the victory. And then in week 2 of the finals, a come from behind victory, 18 points to 16 over Woy Woy up there at Doilo Sporting Complex. Scored in the final couple of minutes. It looked like Woy Woy might do enough to get the Chockies in that one. But Erina, Mitch Deegan scoring the winner with about 4 minutes to go on the clock. And they progress to the grand final qualifier. As for the entrants, week 1 of the finals, they took on Woy Woy, second versus third, defeated Woy Woy 30 points to 18. That was a tough game for them, and then they had to back it up the following week against the minor premiers Wyong. 34 points to 20, they went down. And the game was close, probably up until just after half-time, and then Wyong really put the foot down and ran away with it in the second half. That brings us to Sunday afternoon here at Berkeley Vale. Two teams looking to avoid Mad Monday celebrations for one more week. It's a slight breeze. It seems to be blowing across the ground into our faces, Tim, from the far side of the field towards where the camera is.
Yeah, no real advantage in the kicking long game, but it is a bit swirly this wind, so when that big up and under goes up, I think the fullbacks will be having a few nervous moments before they take that ball.
We touched on it earlier, the grand final next weekend, Woy Woy Oval. If you're in the area, get down and support the local competition. If you can't be there or you can't be here today even, jump onto Bar TV Sports and tune in. Let us know who you're cheering for and where you're cheering from, and we'll try and get back to those comments a bit later on. We shouldn't be too far away from kick-off here at Berkeley Vale Oval, home of the Panthers.
We just watched a pretty thrilling game in the reserve grade there, and Kincumber getting up. Pretty frantic finish for both teams, but they got the Chockies, Kincumber.
Yeah, 22 points to 14 in that one, so the Colts advance to the grand final in reserve grade, so that's big for that club. They'll be represented on grand final day.
And they got the Chocolates in the open age as well, beating St Edwards 12-6.
Not too far away from kickoff, just waiting for the players to come out of their respective sheds. Plenty of rugby league action today on Bar TV Sports. We've got the Newcastle Rugby League grand final on as well. Plenty of other district competitions having their grand final today. We're still 1 week away here on the Central Coast.
There was predicted thunderstorms for this afternoon, Dan, but I can't say that happening at the moment. The sun is shining very nicely. Nice, cool 22 degrees.
We see the Entrance Tigers make their way onto the field, led out by their skipper, Matt Killick. As I said, Tim, they've got a massive front row rotation, the Entrance. Mitch A. Church, Noah Easton to start the game, and then Matt Fisk and Tim Nwangatabu to relieve them. It'll be all about controlling that middle third for Erina today. They can at least hold their own in there. They'll be in with a red-hot chance of taking this one out. Tim Nwangatabu off the bench has scored, I think, something like 12 tries this season, so it's a pretty good return for a front rower.
Yeah, it's not bad for a front rower. He could start a bakery with those meat pies.
So the Entrance now on halfway. Referees for today's fixture, Jeff Hart up in the centre, and the touch judges Brianna Davies and Connor Hibbert. And we'll have in-goal judges for today's preliminary final as well, sparing no expense. So we see the Erina Eagles make their way out onto the pitch, led by their skipper, Steve Pont. Big turnout here today at Berkeley Vale. Hard to find a park, Tim.
Yeah, it was hard to find a park, and look, Erina seem to have a bit of advantage crowd-wise. They've got a good, strong following here today, so whether that comes into play or not, it'll be interesting to see.
We're not too far away from kick-off here. Central Coast Rugby League preliminary final. The Entrance Tigers taking on the Erina Eagles. Grand final awaits the winner of this, and Mad Monday awaits the loser.
Maybe into a Tuesday as well, Dan?
Probably, speaking from experience. It looks like it'll be Erina to get us underway shortly. They'll be running from right to left on your screens in the predominantly blue outfit. The Entrance Tigers in the all white with the orange and black trim. Jeff Hart, the referee, makes his way into position. With Connor O'Byrne to get us underway here. Preliminary final. Referee blows time on. O'Byrne kicks deep. It's down to Nelson, who takes it on the full. And he'll bring it back. Tufata came out of the line looking for a shot. Big Kenny Tufata, speaking of front rowers scoring tries, he's got himself 7 this season. So, again, good return for the front rower from Erina. We see the Entrance now through A. Church. He'll be brought down 25 away from his own line. The Entrance looking to work it out of their own end. Ryan Doherty's brought down just outside his own 30. Killick out of dummy half. That ball was flat. Goes to A. Church.
Second hit up of the set for the big man, looking to lead from the front.
It's 3 in the tackle there for Erina as Killick gets out of dummy half. That kick's been charged down. Pont's after it. Nelson leads the race though. Can he get the bounce? He doesn't get the bounce, but the referee will blow a penalty against Pont for a tackle without the ball on Nelson. Grant Nelson at fullback. Matt Nelson on the wing. Matt Nelson sporting what looks to be a man bun, so he's easily recognisable. Pearsall kicks for touch, finds it 10 shy of halfway, so decent starting field position here for the Tigers. McCudden will take the first run. Noah Easton now up over halfway, carrying 3 with him. Good run from the big man.
The 2 front rows of Entrance have been very busy early, Dan.
Tonga goes across field to Florimo now. Florimo met by a brick wall of defence. No way through that. Killick out of dummy half. Goes to Doherty. Doherty short to Easton. Clements in on the tackle. Trent Pye in there as well. They're inside the 30 here, the Tigers. Pearsall now with a kick in behind, looking for... Nelson has thrown it back in field and couldn't find the support. A big chance there for the Tigers, Tim.
Yeah, a little bit too much sauce on that kick, but they look dangerous there, the Entrance. They got the roll on through the middle, and Erina are having trouble stopping their big men at the moment.
Matt Nelson with a big opportunity. Just couldn't find Corrigan back on the inside. Looking for the old basketball pass over the top. Chance goes begging for the Tigers. Just over 2 minutes gone here at Berkeley Vale. Score is still 0-0. Now Erina with an opportunity. First use of the ball, working it away from their own line. That's tackle one. O'Byrne plays it. Goes to Lawrence. Lawrence is met in a good tackle there by Achurch and Florimo. Tafata now on the charge. Big Kenny Tafata up to the 30.
Good strong run there from the big man.
Takes 3 to bring him down. So they come to the left through Clements, Fitzpatrick, Pye. No trouble making metres away from their own end here, Erina. 17 out there in Joel Fraser, starting the game. Pont now to Fitzpatrick, who kicks off the left. He'll find the grass. LeBrock coming across will field it on the second bounce. Jono Wright leads the chase. Well, they found a bit of space out here on the left-hand side through... That's the 3 Harley Ridge. He's still going, Ridge. Ridge comes to the fullback. Wright's there as well. Great return there from the entrance Tigers.
Nice vision there from the winger, Dan.
Nelson, Achurch, through the hands to Pearsall. Pearsall's brought down 30 away. They come to McCudden now. McCudden straight at Fitzpatrick. Pye in on the tackle as well. He gets the offload away. Killick's there. Fitzpatrick grabs him by the collar. Danger signs here for the Eagles. Corrigan, Pearsall, crossfield, Tonga. They've got the numbers here. Nelson chimes in. Perry LeBrock unmarked. He's over in the corner. Perry LeBrock scores the opening try. And that was a little bit too easy, Tim. 4-0 with a kick to come.
Yeah, nice shape and depth out the back there from the entrance. A couple of good runs through the middle that bent the line. Really set up that block play out the back, and they got the biscuits in the corner. Tough kick, but with the wind favouring him, he should have the distance covered easily.
It all started from that kick return. As you said, Tim, it was Perry LeBrock who got the move started. Good vision, found Harley Ridge unmarked on his left. Ridge brought it back the best part of 60 metres, put the entrance right on the front foot. A couple of tackles later, it was Perry LeBrock finishing it off in the far left corner. Be Killick to try and add the extras. Tough kick, he moves in, strikes it. Flags are up. It's a big kick from the skipper. 6-0 the scoreline. 5 minutes gone.
Massive kick there, Dan. He nearly took it back the best part of 30 metres on the sideline, so the wind carried it, but nice strike from the sideline from the captain.
Perry LeBrock moves on to 16 tries for the season. And the entrance leads 6 points to 0. 5 minutes gone. O'Byrne gets us underway. That one's hit the feed. It'll bounce back out. McCudden picks it up straight into Tafata. He'll be brought down 15 away on tackle 1. Easton straight into Clements. Tafata in on the tackle as well as the 11 Trent Pye. Comes to Corrigan. Erina trying to get numbers in the tackle to slow these play the balls down. And with the dry conditions out there, Tim, the entrants are just moving the football on them.
Yeah, that little one extra pass in the middle is really causing Erina trouble. They're going to the tackle with numbers. As soon as they push that extra pass on, they're one-on-one, and they seem to be rolling through the middle very nicely, the entrance at the moment.
It takes 4 to bring down Achurch there. Last tackle goes to Pearsall, who kicks high. Chaser on the inside. Grant Nelson looked offside. He's been called out of it. Well taken there by Lewis Sheens at fullback. It'll be Deegan now to take a run out of dummy half. He's brought down 20 away from his own line on tackle 2. Erina yet to see the other end of the field with ball in hand. Marson will play it 30 away from his own line. Shoveler now, quick play the ball. Pont out of dummy half, finds Clement, and Clement is absolutely smashed there by Noah Easton. Read that one like the Sunday paper. Fitzpatrick with the kick. It's a wobbly old one. It's going to go out on the full. They got through their set, the Eagles, but disappointing end to it there. Fitzpatrick slicing that one out on the full. And the entrance can go on the attack.
They've definitely jumped out the barriers too in front of you, Dan. Erina seemed to have missed the kick and struggling to really get in the groove of the game at the moment.
They're up quickly on A Church. John O'Wright, Connor O'Byrne forcing him backwards. Play it right on halfway on tackle one. Doherty. It's brought down by Pont. Fraser in on the tackle as well. Killick threw the dummy both ways and ended up spinning, and Pont wraps him up. Bit of a wasted tackle there for the Tigers. Tonga out of dummy half, goes to Florimo. Florimo met by Tefada. He gets the offload away, Florimo. Tonga now, they've got some numbers. Throws it short to Harley Ridge. Harley Ridge is through. Ridge for the try line. Ridge will score a second try of the day. Harley Ridge running with spiders on him. Beats 2 or 3. Steps inside the fullback and scores the second try for the Entrance Tigers. 10-0 with a kick to come.
Yeah, a bit of farcical defending out there on the right edge for Erina, but take nothing away from that try. Beat 3 or 4 players. Nice little left foot stepped on him and got over the try line.
And he got the fend on O'Byrne. It was Pont who came late. And the skipper couldn't keep him out of the in-goal area. And the Entrance have started this one fast. They'd be stinging after last week's performance. Wyong comprehensive in that victory in the major semi-final. 34 points to 20. Wyong ran out winners last weekend. The Entrance, big chance of taking out this competition. As I said, they would have been stung by that result last week, and they've come out of the blocks firing here today. And at the moment, Erina have no answers.
You can certainly see why that left edge has scored 25 tries between the centre and winger, Dan. Good combination. They look good when they go out the back to them as well. Nice speed. They're in for a long day on that right edge if they don't tighten up, Erina.
Killick adds the extras. 12-0 the scoreline, 10 minutes gone. Tuning in on Bar TV Sports. Let us know who you're cheering for and where you're cheering from. Get back to a few of those comments throughout the first half. It'll be Connor O'Byrne to get us underway again. That all came from that Fitzpatrick error on the last him, kicked out on the full.
Yeah, they're on tilt at the moment, Aaron, and they need to just roll up the sleeves, get through a couple of strong defensive sets and hold on to the ball.
Nelson spills that one behind him. Corrigan's got to do the clean-up work. Might be a good chance here for Erina to compress their defensive line, put some pressure on without the ball as Easton on the charge. Looking to get the arm free. Can't get the arm free, but he picks up a good 10 metres on that run. Killick out of dummy half. Doherty through the hands to Tonga. Tonga throws the dummy. They found more space here through Nelson. Nelson finds Ridge. He's got the fullback to beat. He's got support in LeBrock. He steps the fullback. Harley Ridge going for the line. The fullback comes again in Sheens. Sheens does well. Chance here on the right-hand side, Tim, as they come to the right through Pearsall. Pearsall to Nelson. Nelson going across field. He throws the dummy. He looks to split them. Can't. Referee will call Erina offside. Chance goes begging there for the Tigers. They'll get another set of 6, but probably should have been 6 points.
Yeah, I think he did the right thing though there, Harley Ridge. He held on to the ball. Would have been a 50-50 pass out to the winger. Went himself and he just didn't have the motor to get there.
But Tigers now on the attack again inside the 10. They go to A-Church on the charge. A-Church will be tough to stop from there. Little bobble. Holds on to it. The defence holds firm. Killick goes to Pearsall. Tonga now. Cross field. Throws the cutout pass to Ridge. Ridge back off the left foot. The Erina defence alive to the danger. They're holding on by the skin of their teeth here, the Eagles. Florimo. He takes a settler in the shadows of the posts, 5 metres away. Slow play the ball. Killick comes to Doherty. Doherty to Pearsall. Pearsall to Corrigan. Corrigan into the hole. And Corrigan will score the try. Well, it's too easy at the moment for the Tigers. 16-0 with a kick to come, and Sean Corrigan crosses the stripe.
Yeah, Will Pearsall did nice there, Dan. Just held that ball up a touch, and Corrigan hit a nice line and went over pretty easily in the end.
And they are blowing Erina out of the water at the moment. Just no answers for the Eagles. And again, Tim, the dry conditions, they shifted the ball early in the tackle count. Grant Nelson found a hole. Harley Ridge again, he'd be up over 100 metres already, Harley Ridge.
Yeah, he's having a field day out in that left edge. They're just running through him at the moment. If Erina weren't on tilt already, Dan, it's panic stations at the moment for them.
And they just haven't had an opportunity at the Eagles. It's been all defence so far for Erina. Matt Killick will try and add the extras and take this out to an 18 points to 0 lead. Hands on hips, hands on heads behind the try line for the Eagles. Killick moves in, strikes it, splits the uprights. 3 from 3 today for Matt Killick. And it's 18 points to 0 after 13 minutes. They're in front of the clock.
They've taken a leaf out of the Melbourne Storm book last night, Dan. Very clinical, the entrance. And poor Erina resemble Parramatta at the moment.
Oh, I didn't want to bring up last night, Tim. I know you're a massive Eagles fan. I didn't want to compare it to that, but it certainly looks like it at the moment as O'Byrne kicks off. This one is a bit more shallow than the others. Might be getting a tired leg from all the kickoffs. Easton will play it around about 20 metres out from his own line. The 8 out there for Erina.
We don't have a number for that.
I think it might be Burrell. Tim Burrell out there in the 8. Now penalty to the entrance, and if Erina have any hope of getting back into this game, they have to hold firm here. 18-0 is a big mountain to climb. 24-0 might just be Mount Everest.
You can see the writing on the wall now, Dan. They'll go 3 or 4 to the right and hit back to the left where they've had plenty of success, and they'll be in big trouble here, Erina. A-Church now, through the hands, goes to Easton. Easton met by Pont and Pye. Fitzpatrick in there as well. 25 away here, the Tigers. Pearsall, short ball to Grant Nelson. Nelson's brought down in a good tackle. Brendan Shoveler coming out of the line as it comes to Doherty. Doherty to Tonga. Tonga steps off the left, goes back towards the post. Still going, Tonga. He's only 10 away. Options both sides here for Killick. Couple of tackles left up their sleeve. Comes to Pearsall. Pearsall throws the dummy. Still going, Pearsall. He'll play it just short. Comes to Tonga. Tonga now with a kick in behind, looking for the repeat set. And they're going to pin him in goals. They are. Mitch Deegan unable to get back into the field of play. And Sione Tonga forcing the dropout. 18 points to 0, the scoreline. Good composure there from the halfback. Didn't go for the glory, just thought he'd build pressure and get the repeat set. And they look to be steamrolling on here, the entrance.
Will be Connor O'Byrne to get us back underway. So O'Byrne with the dropout, needs the bounce, gets the bounce and finds touch. And that's the first little bit of luck that the Erina Eagles have had today. Connor O'Byrne finding touch, 45 out from his own line with that dropout. You could see it happening, Tim. The bounce straight over Matt Nelson's head. And Jacob McCudden unable to keep it in play. So a break there for the Eagles.
Yeah, massive break there. They're in big trouble there, Erina. Hopefully they compose themselves here, complete the set, and pin the entrance down in their own half.
This is easily the best starting field position for the Eagles today. Oh, and a knock on from the back of the scrum. Steve Pont is blowing up.
You'd be lucky to avoid a penalty here, Dan, if he keeps going.
Well, that is just how the game has gone so far for the Eagles.
Poor old Dane Allen, if he didn't have any hair, or he got something, he won't have much left.
Just when you think they've caught a break, Pont is ruled to have knocked on from the back of the scrum, and now the Tigers on the attack again through Grant Nelson. He's been involved today. Comes to Doherty. Doherty will play it 30 away, tackle 2. Comes to A Church. A Church met by 4 Erina defenders.
Still can't put the big man on the ground.
He is a big man, Mitch A Church. Comes to Doherty. Doherty to Tonga. Tonga to Florimo. Florimo, can he get past Wright? Wright gets a bit of help over there. So, it's the only Tonga now, underneath the Doherty. Doherty spins, can't break the tackle. Last tackle here for the Tigers. Killick comes to Tonga. Tonga with the kick in behind, looking for another repeat set. Sheens can only field the ball in goals. Another good kick there from Sione Tonga, really boosting those Supercoach points up with these repeat sets.
Yeah, he seems to have it on a string today, Dan. He showed a lot of class, the halfback. Set up a nice couple of tries out on the left and a couple of nice little grubbers. So he's certainly having a field day here at the moment.
Can O'Byrne reproduce his last dropout? Wasn't the best struck dropout you've ever seen, but it got a result, and they need another result here. So Byrne, that one goes 40 on the fly. Comes to Easton. Easton will play it 25 away on tackle 1. Killick out of dummy half, goes to Tonga. It was out in front of him. Good hand, throws the dummy. Tonga's through. Tonga for the line. Tonga will score the try. 22 points to 0. The entrance lead Erina. And Erina at 6s and 7s at the moment.
Mate, this bloke could be a real estate agent, Tonga. He just sold in the dummy left, right and centre. Straight through. And showed some good toe to get to the line.
It was O'Byrne who fell for the dummy and then showed a clean pair of heels. Tonga still had the best part of 25 metres to run. Showed enough pace to beat the covering fullback. And at 22 points to 0, it's tough to see a way back into this one for Erina. We don't have the luxury of possession stat, Tim, but Tigers would have to be up over 65% at the moment.
Yeah, and the worst thing for Erina at the moment is, Dan, all the defensive work they're doing to be chewing that air out of the lungs, and they'll be getting some heavy legs. It's going to be a tough task to get back in the game here.
Plenty of people tuning in on Bar TV's coverage. Clint Smith beating the clock. Yeah, they sure are at the moment, Clint. Killick moves in, looking to add the extras, and that one's waved away. 22-0, the scoreline remains. At this point in time, it looks like Erina, well, they're going to need a big turnaround. They're going to need the ball, Tim. They haven't had the ball yet, really, this half.
They've completed one set, Dan. The tide will turn, they'll get their chance, but whether they're in striking distance or not when that possession stat turns is the other question.
So Byrne gets us underway again. This one high, down to Nelson, who takes it on the full. Nelson brought down by Trent Pye. Burrell in on the tackle as well. Tim Nwangatabu's out there in the 23, so no respite for the Erina defence.
Good shift by Mitch A. Church, first stint. Very heavily involved, a couple of strong carries.
Florimo will play it. Oh, no, he won't. That was an error in the play of the ball there from Jay Florimo. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, Tim, because of the last run we saw Erina make a mistake, but opportunity here for the Eagles to go on the attack for the first time today.
Back to basics here, I think, Dan. Just pick the ball up from lock and run it, the old junior style.
Vio Burn to feed. They trail 22 points to 0. 22 minutes gone. It goes underneath the Shoveler. Shoveler will play it. 32 away on tackle 1. They go to Pye. Doesn't have any support down that short side, Pye. Just has to take the tackle. Pont in at dummy half. Burrell, Fitzpatrick through the hands. Goes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne off the right. Runs at Florimo. Can't beat Jay Florimo. The cavalry comes across. Brings him down. 10 away.
Unlucky not to get a penalty there.
First chance here for the Eagles. Burrell now. Clements runs at Nwangatabu. And he's brought down. Penalty to the Eagles. So they'll get another 6 tackles here, Erina. I can't imagine they'll take the 2. Pond goes to the 16 in O'Brien. And O'Brien is only half a metre away. Tackle 1 comes to Clements. He did well to catch that, Clements. There's a bullet pass from dummy half. Nearly hit him in the chin. Pont now goes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne throws the dummies, brought down by Doherty. Nwangatabu over the top. Pont again. Centre field here, underneath to Burrell. Burrell now, he's over the line. There's plenty of entrance players there with him though. They'll hold him up. Doherty, Killick, Nwangatabu all in on the tackle. Still plenty of tackles up their sleeve here for Erina.
Plenty of depth out here on the left end. They're set up to go to the left.
They go to O'Byrne. O'Byrne to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick short ball to Pye. Pye's brought down. Pearsall and Corrigan. Comes to Fitzpatrick. He'll kick across field. In the end goals. It's been juggled by Erina. Put down by Marson. Half chance there for the Eagles. Perry LeBrock looking to get things underway quickly.
All or nothing with the crossfield kick there, Dan. I would have liked to seen Erina try and roll one in and get a repeat set like the entrants have done. Try and build some pressure.
Instead, the knock-on in goals leads to a 7-tackle set. By the end of this one, the entrants could be in an attacking position themselves. Nwangatabu plays it 15 shy of halfway. Noah Easton's still out there. Matt Fisk with his unmistakable haircut over there, ready to come on, I dare say, for Noah Easton. McCudden. There's a late shot there on Doherty. There's Bailey Scott coming out of the line. The referee was right in front of him, really. Pearsall kicks for touch. Finds the line 30 away. Matt Fisk is out there. And the 18. Tim Nwangatabu up to the 20.
Nice carry there. Elbows and knees. Quick play the ball.
Pearsall goes short to Fisk. Fisk who gets his first touch of the game. He's brought down. 12 away. Centre field. Options both sides here for the Tigers. Tonga to the left. They go that way. Tonga now. Doherty back on the inside. Doherty for the line. Doherty scores. Doherty scores the try. Lovely inside ball from Sione Tonga. And Ryan Doherty crashes over. 26 points to 0 with a kick to come. We've still got 14 minutes to go in this first half, Tim, but that might be all she wrote.
Yeah, they're in big. We said it before, Dan. They're in big trouble, but big raps to the halfback there. He's been looking dangerous. Pivoted off that left foot, dropped the inside pass, and put his lock forward over under the next to the post. And he's just controlling this game excellently at the moment. The halfback, Sione Tonga.
And what do you say if you're behind that goal line now in that huddle for Erina? What can you say, really? They've been blown out of the water here by the Tigers.
I think some Mad Monday preparations might be going on at the moment. There'll be some soul searching there, some finger pointing, I assume, and they've got a big task ahead.
Killick adds the extras. 28 points to nil. With 28 minutes gone. Still matching the clock. And O'Byrne will get us underway again. This will be his 6th kickoff for the afternoon. Getting plenty of practice in that department. Goes down to Nelson. Nelson takes it. They're getting shorter and shorter with every kickoff.
Fatigue may play a factor there, Dan. He's, like you said, 6 kickoffs. He might be in for a few more this afternoon, unfortunately.
Tabu met by 3, and they just haven't got into this game, Erina. They've been caught on the hop. Fisk now on the charge. He gets down 12 shy of halfway. Doherty, Tabu. Comes to Pearsall. Pearsall kicks, looking for the bounce. It's out on the full from Will Pearsall. Pearsall with a bit of a miscue there. A chance here for Erina. They need to post some sort of points before half time if there are any hope of getting back into this one.
Nice offload there from Burrell.
14 out there, Toby Elliott. He's forced backwards by 4 Tigers defenders. Florimel and Fisk in on the tackle. Sione Tonga is down just behind the defensive line. He looks to be in a bit of pain, Tonga, as well.
Shane wouldn't have his heart in his mouth here with his star man going down at the moment.
It's not what they need. A week out from a potential grand final.
You'd put him on ice here, wouldn't you, Dan, up at this score, 28-0?
Well, they're pretty deep in the forward pack on the bench, the entrance. I'm not sure how it would work, the reshuffle. Luke Chant might be the option. Jake Woods maybe to 5'8", Pearsall to halfback. Sione Tonga still down receiving treatment.
Looks to be a knee maybe, Dan. He went down in a hell of a lot of pain and hasn't improved.
Well, he came reeling out of that tackle. There were 4 in on the tackle on Elliott. Came reeling away from it and then hit the deck. Some sort of lower leg injury for Sione Tonga. He's back to his feet. He's very ginger though. When you're 28-0 up in a preliminary final, this is probably the only thing that could put a dampener on things for the Tigers. Will be Luke Chant to come into the fray. Looks like Doherty will go over to the left where Tonga was defending. Ryan Doherty might slot into the halves with Luke Chant coming into the fray. Erina on the attack. We haven't said that too many times today. O'Byrne goes to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick, short ball to Pye. Pye's brought down inside the 10-metre line. Elliott in a dummy half. Comes to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick underneath. That's the 15, Bailey Scott. He'll play the ball. 8 away. Last tackle. Can they get a result here, the Eagles? Comes to Fitzpatrick. Dummies a couple of times. Goes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne gets the fend away. Got the winger unmarked. He holds on to it. He'll die with the ball. Not the worst place to give it back to the Tigers, but they don't need repeat sets. They need points.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there.
So we've got the referee, sorry Tim, that stopped the game. We've got an ambulance coming onto the field. Looks like the officials are pointing up the hill on the far side.
Geez, they've taken the wrong turn here, haven't they, Dan? Surely they didn't need to come onto the field there.
I'm not sure that they can get up and around to where they need to get to without being on the field. At 28-0. Chance here for the Eagles just to reset. Well, they've had plenty of those chances after every try, I suppose.
They had a great opportunity there, Dan, to hit their star player out in the right, John O'Reilly. He hasn't touched the ball yet, I don't think, this game. They had good depth out in the right. Hit him early, give him early ball, see what he can do. They just held on it too long and get tackled in the corner.
The ambulance staff have gone up onto the hill, so it doesn't look like it's anything to do with any of the players. Looks like it might be somebody in the crowd having some difficulties, and we hope that they're okay over there. Chance for us to run through the try scorers for the entrance Tigers. Harley Ridge, Sean Corrigan, Perry LeBrock with the opener. Sione Tonga, who's just recently gone off the field with an injury. Ryan Doherty as well. 5 tries to 0. Matt Killick kicking 4 from 5. Looks like it might be a Erina player, actually. He hasn't got his jersey on. He's holding an arm of some sort. Couldn't quite see who it was. And shouldn't be too far away from play restarting. He made his way to the ambulance under his own steam, which was a good sign. Got the random Souths guy over on the far side of the field, on the hill.
I think it's a lady, Dan.
Well, we don't discriminate between sexes here. It's just random South guys is what it's known as. The Bunnies going through to a preliminary final next week against Canberra. Melbourne taking on the Roosters in NRL action. That'll be an absolute cracker next Saturday night. Here on the Central Coast, it's the entrance with 1.5 feet through the door to the grand final. And another shot at the Wyong-Roos. The ambulance makes its way off the field.
I'm always sceptical going in the grand final, Dan. They have the week off, but the entrance have been able to build confidence here, get a few of their combinations really clicking, and they'll be firing on all cylinders come next week.
Yeah, it'll be a good game. Whoever gets through this one, Wyong with the luxury of another week off. They had a week off because they were minor premiers. So the one game in 3 or 4 weeks for the Roos, not sure that's ideal. Gives them a chance to get any niggling injuries and bumps and bruises fixed up. But as you said, Tim, the entrants have had to play week after week, and they're finding a bit of touch here in this preliminary final as Nwanga Tabu goes on the charge. He's brought down by 3. Trent Pine on the tackle. Burrell as well. Fisk now. He'll be brought down a couple of metres shy of halfway. Last tackle here for the Tigers. Pearsall to the right. They go that way. He'll kick high. Be tough to take here for Deegan. He does well, Mitch Deegan. Caught that 1 millimetres off the turf.
The entrance players didn't even contest there, Dan. A bit interesting.
Sheens now. He's picked up and drilled by Killick. Good shot from the hooker. Shoveler. We'll play it 8 shy of halfway. Burrell. It's halfway right in the middle of the field. Elliott, O'Byrne throws the dummy. Florimo not falling for it. And O'Byrne will play it inside Tigers territory on the last, but they've only picked up about 20 metres in that set, Tim. Fitzpatrick will kick high. Chase is coming through in Deegan. It's taken by Matt Nelson. Nelson will play it 28 away.
Yeah, the big men of Erina are really struggling to get those metres going from all the defensive duties they've been doing. The stings out of their legs, and it's hard to find the muster to take that hit up there, Dan.
And that's where it's so tough against teams like the Entrance and Wyong. Just when you think you've seen off the starting front rowers, they've got two front rowers coming off the bench who could probably start in just about any other team on the coast. It's tough sledding for the Erina front rowers here today. As Killick gets out of dummy half and kicks early in the set. He finds the grass. It might be a bit too big here though from Killick. And it is. It trickles in goals. That'll be a 20-metre tap. 7 tackles set here for the Eagles. They didn't pick up many metres last set, and they really need to get on the front foot as Burrell just gets back on side. Comes to Clements.
Big sigh of relief there from the Erina forwards, Dan. They were all stood there on their heels in the 40-metre line, praying for that ball to go out in touch.
Pye, 3 in the tackle. Killick across there. McCudden as well. Pearsall finishes him off. 32 away from his own line. Fitzpatrick now goes to O'Byrne. Noticed that a lot last week, Tim. The Erina halves like to link up. You'll see it a lot today, O'Byrne to Fitzpatrick and vice versa.
Their line speed's been super here, the Entrance. Every time O'Byrne gets the ball, they're up fast to closing down, and you just can't seem to find those outside men.
So Brian plays it. A few more metres in this set here for the Eagles, but they're still not up to halfway as it comes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick short ball to Pye. Pye look for the offload. It's been spilled. McCudden picks it up. And he'll play it on tackle 0, 8 metres shy of halfway. So another half chance there for the Eagles. If they're to get back into this game at all, they need those half chances to stick. As Grant Nelson plays it. Comes to the 15, Chant. Chant brought down 15 metres inside Eagles territory. Tackle 2. Doherty, Florimo, short ball to Ridge, and that's probably the first error we've seen from the Tigers.
Yeah, second Dan. Florimo had to misplay the ball, but yeah, they've been clinical this afternoon, the Entrance, and even though they've had a turnover, it's deep in Erina's half.
O'Brien to play the ball. 15 shy of halfway. John O'Wright now. He's cut down by Luke Chant. Burrell, flat ball to Shoveler. Shoveler met by 3 Entrance defenders. Elliott goes to Clements. Clements off the right foot. Nearly poked his nose through there, Clements. The gap closed too quickly. Elliott now. Fitzpatrick underneath the Burrell. Back on the angle. Flicks it out the back to no one in particular. Sheens goes back and cleans it up. Sheens looking to fend Doherty off. Well, good luck with that. Ryan Doherty, one of the best defenders in that team. Sheens plays the ball. O'Byrne throws the dummy, shapes the kick, gets it back to Elliott, who just puts it on the toe. LeBrock will take the tackle 5 metres away from his own line. An Erina player has come reeling out of that tackle. It might be Elliott. It is. As we see a little knock on from the Entrance. Grant Nelson with the error. Toby Elliott, the Erina player, down receiving treatment. He was the one that put the kick through. He got down there quickly on Perry LeBrock and just maybe a head clash. He came reeling out of it, Elliott, and he hasn't moved since. And with 5 minutes left in this half, 28-0, Erina have to post points. They can't go into half-time 28-0 down if they're any chance of getting back into this one.
No, they'd have to score here, Dan, for sure. Couple to the left, hit back to the right, try and hit John O'Wright through a hole. because their last tackle options, what little they've had, they've been pretty poor, Dan, when they've got down into these areas. Their kicks just haven't been on the money and they can't build pressure. So either with 5 minutes to go, they can still get a repeat set, build pressure, get another shot at them. It's not all or nothing, but...
And what do you say at half-time to a team in a preliminary final trailing by that much of a distance? That's probably about right. Nothing.
Yeah. I'm sitting here trying to catch my thoughts. I don't know what I'd say. You could go the old blow up and see if you get a response, or you could just not sharpen the sheds and see if the players
sort it out themselves. Well, it's going to take a coaching masterstroke from Dane Allen at half-time. Not tactics-wise or anything like that, just to get his team to believe that they can still win this game. The entrants have come out and blasted Erina off the field. Just remember the 2 times that they played each other this season, Erina won the first game by 4 points, and then the second game, the entrants got up by a field goal. So throughout the regular season, not a lot between these two sides. Pont is back out there. Elliott might have seen the last of him for today. He's a bit ginger, Toby Elliott.
Would you want to go back on, Dan, 28-0 down?
Yes, I would.
That's the political answer there.
I would.
Good response.
As they win the scrum feed, it comes to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick goes to Sheens. Sheens backs his way towards the 10-metre line. First tackle, big chance here for the Eagles. Pont goes to Trent Pye. Pye looks to get the bumper bar up. He's forced backwards by the entrance defence. They're deep to the right here, the Eagles. They go that way. Fitzpatrick, O'Byrne puts the kick in on tackle 2, looking for right. Perry LeBrock, alert to the danger. Risky play there from O'Byrne on tackle 2.
Yeah, probably didn't need to roll that one in behind, but like I said, Dan, there's plenty of time. They'll get another set here, but they had them shot to pieces if they had gone through the hands earlier.
The entrants will be in no hurry to get this play back underway. It'll be Will Pearsall from underneath the black dot to get us restarted. Under 4 minutes to go in this one. Burrell stopped at the line, and Fisk and Nwangatabu had pretty much a free shot at him.
Good contact there from the entrance defence, though.
Pont goes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne back on the angle. O'Brien will be brought down. 15 away. Burrell on the charge again. They go to O'Byrne. O'Byrne tucks it under the arm. He'll be brought down 8 away now. Slow play the ball here for O'Byrne. Pont out of dummy half. Face ball to Burrell, and Florimo with a great shot. Stopped him in his tracks. Pont comes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne puts the kick through, looking for the regather. Does he get it? Grant Nelson comes up with it. The entrants survive that Erina raid. And there's another Erina player down in the in goals. Clutching at an arm.
No, I think he might have dislocated his shoulder here, Dan.
I think it might be O'Byrne, is it? Can't see him out there.
Yeah, it is the 5'8".
I think it's Connor O'Byrne that's down in the in goals. The Tigers make their way up outside their own 30 as Killick kicks early in the count. He turns Sheens around.
Great kick there from the captain.
Sheens will have to bring it back from his own try line. He's got no support. That one looked like it slipped up a bit high. The referee agrees. He slipped into it, Sheens, and Fitzpatrick taking exception to it. Pearsall and Fitzpatrick with a bit of a push and shove. He did slip into it, Sheens.
Yeah, he was unlucky there, Pearsall. He slipped and caught him high. It was a penalty, but a bit of frustration creeping in there from Erina.
Fitzpatrick certainly didn't like what he saw. O'Byrne is still at the opposite end of the field receiving treatment.
Regardless, it doesn't matter. You still make contact with the net. Just take it and then wait to stay in Steve! Steve!
We can hear Jeff Harder.
Jake! Jake! Mate, I've got it. I know it's a high tackle, okay? You just need to let it alone. Also, by the way, if he gets back play that far, I am calling not playing the scissors. Here's the play. Yeah, here's one next to the right. Please. Nothing different would have this penalty replaced before walking down. Let's get back to it. There's no need for it.
He's not 100% Connor O'Byrne. Can barely move that right arm. He's making his way back into the line now, but I'd be surprised if we see him after half time the way he's carrying that arm.
They'd be low on troops at the moment, poor old Erina, with a hell of a lot of work to do.
Fitzpatrick, kick for touch, finds the line, 25 out from his own line. Into the final 2 minutes here at Berkeley Vale Oval. Into the final minute now. That was Matt Fisk on O'Brien. The entrance just running harder and hitting harder at the moment as Clements fights his way up over his own 30. Killick and Nwangatabu in on the tackle. Burrell, some nice footwork, but Chant was there on the tackle. Nwangatabu's been in everything since he's come on. Pont, O'Byrne puts a little kick in behind. It sits up for Grant Nelson, who ducks under a Fitzpatrick tackle. Didn't look to be a lot in that one, but...
No, I thought that rolled around the shoulder there, Dan. I think just the amount of entrance players around the ball screaming for a head high shot, the ref giving in.
Well, there's 10 seconds left in this first half. Do the entrants have a trick shot up their sleeve? They lead 28-0. Find the line, 32 away as we hear the siren in the background.
There's no fullback here for Aaron. Oh, they've gone back now, they've read it.
Comes to Pearsall, who goes high. That one's a floater, goes across to right, and he takes it on the full, Jono Wright. Spills out the back. Fisk absolutely hammers Lewis Sheens. And that will be the end of the first half. And the entrants starting it as fast as they finished it. 28 points to nil the scoreline as Jeff Harder blows for half time. The entrance Tigers try scorers Perry LeBrock open the scoring. Harley Ridge, Sean Corrigan, Sione Tonga and Ryan Doherty. Matt Killick kicking 4 from 5. And for the Erina Eagles in that first half, a duck egg. Nothing to report for the Erina Eagles in that first half except for injuries, Tim.
Yeah, bold middle stump, poor old Erina. They've got a lot of work to do. A lot of injuries to deal with at half time. They'll be struggling to field 13 the way they've gone that half.
Well, we'll be back here on Bar TV's coverage of Central Coast Rugby League after the halftime break. Welcome back here to Berkeley Vale Oval, Central Coast Rugby League preliminary final. We're 1 week away from the Tui's Cup Grand Final. Dan McCamley and Tim McCamley calling all the action for Bar TV Sports. Let us know if you're tuning in on Bar TV, who you're cheering for and where you're cheering from. I dare say we'll get a pretty good response from the entrance supporters out there. They'd be very happy with how that first half went. 28 points to 0 they lead over Erina. And they were going at better than a point a minute up until the 28-minute mark, the entrance. Erina struggling with injuries. O'Byrne is back out there, which is a good sign for the Eagles. But at 28 points to 0 down, it will take a minor miracle for them to go through to the grand final next weekend.
Yeah, it would have been an interesting shed to be in. Erina Dan, it would have been either silent or there would have been a few home truths going around the room. Now, it'll be interesting to see this 10 minutes whether they come out or they go into their shell.
There's the kick-off, and Fitzpatrick just manages to stay in the field of play with it.
Big shot there from the entrance defence. They've certainly come out of the sheds firing.
Well, that was Bailey Scott. The message from Shane Wooden at halftime would have been more of the same, please, boys. They hit the ground running in the first half. It's Erina with the first use of possession in the second half. And we've got another one down.
Cramp. Straight out of half-time. That's an interesting one.
Can't say I've ever seen that, to be honest, but maybe he just got his leg caught up in the wrong position. It's not an ideal way to start the second half when you're down on troops.
Maybe a few Oprah Tinfrees last night, Dan, and he's pulled up a bit lame.
It's Trent Pye, player that's down at the moment.
You can't accuse him of time wasting. They're down 28-0, so.
And the winning ticket is an orange ticket. C for Charlie, 54, 54, C, 54.
Receiving treatment. He should be right to go, you'd think. I'll have to get some of those electrolytes into him. Get the old Gatorade out. Maybe the magic spray as well. He plays the ball. And that just gives the entrance defensive line a chance to compress up. Clements through the hands to Scott.
Another big contact there from the entrance defensive line.
Nwangatabu and Fisk. Goes to O'Byrne, who kicks high. It's a spiralling bomb. LeBrock takes it well. Comes back towards Wright. Wright does well to bring him down. He'll play the ball on tackle 1, 30 metres away from his own line. Grant Nelson goes to Doherty. Doherty brought down by Clements and Scott. 15 shy of halfway. Killick to Fisk. Fisk driving those legs.
They've lost that flare in attack with Tonga going off the entrance, but they certainly haven't lost that roll through the middle.
Florimo now up over halfway. Forced backwards in the end by Wright and Clements. O'Brien in on the tackle as well. Killick goes to Doherty. Doherty back on the angle to Chant. Chant's brought down 5 metres inside Erina territory. Last tackle comes to Pearsall. He puts it up high. Sheens comes forward. He's underneath it. Takes it well. Runs straight into Pearsall. Doherty in on the tackle as well as Corrigan. And he'll play it 20 metres away from his own line on tackle 1. Comes to Marson. Marson falls backwards in that tackle. They're really struggling to get on the front foot here, the Eagles. Mitch Deegan being forced backwards. Pont goes to Clements. Clements now, that's a good charge.
What he lacks for in size, Dan Clements, he certainly doesn't lack in heart. He's had a couple of strong carries in the first half and been just as good at the start, the second.
Jono Wright beats one, just can't get away from the second tackler. O'Byrne, he kicks high down towards Nelson, who's underneath it. Takes it comfortably, Grant Nelson. Runs it back and he's finally brought down by Wright, Pont and Marson.
Good metres there by the fullback. He's got him back to the 40-metre line and got a penalty for these troubles.
Hand on the ball, says the referee. It'll be Pearsall to kick for touch. Finds the line just inside Erina territory. The old cliche of Erina needing to be next to score. If the entrance can cross the stripe here, fans can start booking their tickets for next weekend. Nwangatabu.
I think they might already be booked in the way the entrance are travelling. They look to have come out good in the second half.
And they certainly haven't eased off yet. Pearsall finds McCudden. McCudden still driving up towards the 20. He'll be brought down 22 away. Pearsall's down the short side. They come back to the open side through Chant. Chant spun to catch that one. Did well to hold on to it. He's brought down 15 away. Killick to Fisk. Fisk to Doherty. Doherty to Florimo. Florimo up against Wright. Wright does enough. Cavalry comes across. They come back towards the centre of the field through Doherty. Doherty flat ball to Chant. Good shot from Clements. Chant fell into it and Chant's put it on the deck.
Yeah, a bit of a hospital pass there. I thought he did well to hold on to that, but he spilled it just on the contact, but unlucky there from the reserve forward.
And they're down the wrong end of the field here, Erina. Ten metres away from their own line, centre field. They win the scrum feed. Comes to Shoveler. Shoveler will be brought down 15 away from his own line on tackle 1. Pont in at dummy half. Comes to Burrell.
In a struggling team, Burrell's been very good. He's had a couple of good, strong carries. He's certainly been busy when they get the ball.
So is this man, Clements. Not afraid to roll the sleeves up and do the dirty work as Pont gets out of dummy half and pinches 10 metres. They're up to halfway here, the Eagles. Quick play the ball, and the referee says penalty to the Eagles. Hand on the ball. Quick tap from Fitzpatrick. He's away. Runs into McCudden. McCudden
could have taken his time there. Kick for touch, made an extra 20.
O'Byrne comes to O'Brien. And O'Brien is brought down by Florimo. Plays the ball. Florimo again out of marker. Gets Pont. Play the ball was almost too quick for Pont. They waste a tackle there. The Eagles. Comes to Scott. O'Byrne through the hands. He shapes the pass. Comes back the other way. He's coming across field. Florimo and Doherty wrap him up. John O'Wright in a dummy half. Comes to Pont. Pont to Burrell. Burrell with some footwork. He's inside the 10. Last tackle here for the Eagles. Fitzpatrick to the left. They go to the right. Pont with a kick in behind. But O'Brien nearly gets there. And I think Perry LeBrock got there just in time, Tim.
Yeah, good cover there from the winger and fullback. Right decision there from Pont. Repeat set, build pressure. They just don't seem to have that roll through the middle like the entrance do. They're struggling to get that go forward at the moment, Erina. And
it'll be Will Pearsall to get us back on the way. The scoreline is still 28 points to 0. That was the score at half time. There's Pearsall with a wobbly old dropout. Comes across to O'Brien, who fumbles it backwards. It'll be play on. That's a good run from O'Brien after the error. Pont now comes to Clements. A couple of repeat sets here for Erina. Chance to get themselves on the scoreboard. Comes to Fitzpatrick. Good hands from the halfback. Goes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne takes the line on. He'll be brought down 8 away. And he's going to be slow to his feet. He received a bit of treatment at the end of the first half. Comes to Pont. Pont to Scott. Scott will be wrestled to the ground. 10 away. Centre field. Options both sides. And they go to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick flat ball. That's Burrell out on an edge. Burrell fighting towards the try line. He can't get there. Last tackle here for the Eagles. Pont comes to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick kicks across field to right. It's over the top of right. LeBrock's away. LeBrock showing a clean pair of heels. He's over halfway. Perry LeBrock over the 40, the 30, the 20. Shut the gate. Perry LeBrock goes the length of the field. What a try. Perry LeBrock. That is the ball game. The entrance 32, lead Erina 0. Perry LeBrock goes 100 metres to score the try for the Tigers.
Yeah, massive play there from the winger, Dan. Book your tickets, entrance fan. You're going to the big show. Poor old Erina. Repeat set, crossfield kick, all or nothing, and the wingers made him pay.
And as soon as he caught it, it was just over the fingertips of John O'Wright. Perry LeBrock caught it cleanly, and then it was open pastures in front of him. It was Mitch Deegan coming from the other side of the field with a valiant chase from the Erina Eagles, but it was to no avail. LeBrock will still be sucking in the big ones after that one.
Yeah, there's a few Erina players there, Dan. As soon as he took that ball, they were a lot closer than Deegan, and probably could have put up a bit more of a chase, but all that defensive work in the first half seems to have taken its toll.
And sucking in the big ones, Perry LeBrock. That's try number 17 on the season. He's slowly but surely catching Matt Nelson. Matt Nelson out in front on 19 for the Tigers as Killick bends this one around and bends it through. Great kick from the skipper. 34 points to 0. And it's a carve up here at Berkeley Vale. And it's been the story of the day, Tim. Poor old Erina Eagles just haven't had any answers to the entrance Tigers.
Yeah, look, the way the entrance is going, they'll be looking to raise their bat in 10 minutes. They seem to just come out in the second half, haven't taken the foot off the pedal. Lacked that little bit of flair from Tonga going off, but just the hard yards of grinding up the middle are starting to take its toll on Erina.
And Nwanga Tabu, he won't let up, neither will Fisk. Grant Nelson out there. They've still got their starting front rowers to come back into this one. The entrance comes to Woods. Woods up over his own 40, brought down by Pont and Scott. He's dragged towards halfway by Pont. He'll play the ball a couple of metres short of halfway. Comes to Killick, who goes to Fisk. Clements and O'Brien in on the tackle. Killick out of dummy half. Woods again. Getting touches where he can. And now another Erina player has come reeling out of that one. Florimo to Woods to Fisk. Fisk has got Doherty in support. Fisk for the line himself. Just steamrolls Sheens. And Matt Fisk scores his second try of the season and takes the entrance out to a 38 points to 0 lead. Raise the white flag.
As soon as he got through that gap down the big front row, and never looked like passing. He got a sniff of that try line, head down and just steamrolled the fullback. Great run from the big man there.
He was never going to pass that ball, Matt Fisk. He had Ryan Doherty in support. He saw Lewis Sheens standing between him and a meat pie, and he ran straight over the top of him. Sheens with a valiant effort to stop him.
Jake Woods, the fresh legs in the middle of the park. He's been on for about 2 minutes, Dan. 2 hit-ups, broken the line, nice little offload to set up the try, and he could be in for a big couple of 20-25 minutes.
This might just have been the game that the entrance needed after that defeat last week to Wyong. They've come out and put on a clinic here today at Berkeley Vale. 38-0 against, well, let's be honest, they're no easy beats, the Erina Eagles. They're a top 4 side in the Central Coast competition. They're 1 game away from a grand final, and the entrants are putting the cleaners through them. 40-0. 27 minutes remain here at Berkeley Vale.
The fatigue seems to have taken its toll. They've swapped kickoff players, Dan.
Well, O'Byrne has been carrying his right arm since the back end of that first half. I think he might actually be off the field at the moment, Connor O'Byrne. So Fitzpatrick gets us back underway. One goes down to Nelson. Nwanga Tabu on the charge. Burrell in on the tackle. And that one will be play on, and the ball's come loose. It was Burrell who got the arm in. Looked like it might have been a one-on-one strip. Burrell in a dummy half now. He only knows one way.
Jeez, he's had some hit-ups, though. I don't think he's had a spell yet, the big man.
It'll be Burrell to play at 10 metres away. Pont comes to Fitzpatrick underneath the Scott. Scott runs into A-Church. He's back out there. That's bad news to the Erina Eagles. Pont out of dummy half, flat ball. O'Brien for the line. He's pushed backwards by 4 or 5 entrance players. Pont now goes to Elliott. Elliott go through the hands, finds Shoveler. Shoveler comes back in field, but again, there's just too many entrance defenders there. Comes to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick to Burrell. Burrell puts the fend up. And he'll play it 7 metres away, right in front of the uprights. Last tackle. Fitzpatrick to the left. They go that way. Puts a little kick in behind, looking for a repeat set. Grant Nelson is there, though. Cleans it up well. Gets back into the field of play. Now the entrants will work it away from their own try line through Grant Nelson, who's put it on the deck. Fitzpatrick comes up with it. They've come up with the ball. They went in to touch the Eagles, but there'll be no advantage played, so it'll be a scrum feed 10 metres away from the entrance line. Erina trailing 40 points to 0. Can they post points?
No, that'd be the only saving grace of this game then. I think they'd be looking to get over the try line. Start thinking about next year.
They win the scrum feed. Comes to Elliott. Elliott back underneath to O'Brien. O'Brien's put down, 7 away. Woods in on the tackle. Pont comes to Wright. Wright charges for the line. He's got 3 with him. You can see the try line. He's only a metre short. Pont comes to Elliott. It goes over him. Scott has to go back. They've lost 20 metres here. Scott gets jarred there by Nwangatabu. And they lose the best part of 20 metres there, the Eagles. Comes to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick short ball to Pye. Pye, 3 entrance players in on the tackle again. They're just there in numbers at the moment, the Tigers. Comes to Burrell. Burrell to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick going across field. Elliott. Elliott to Wright. And Wright is cut down in a good tackle by Harley Ridge. Last tackle. Pont goes down the short side. Kicks in behind. Looking for a result. LeBrock will just see that one over the dead ball line. 20-metre restart here for the Tigers. And Perry LeBrock is not wasting any time. He wants a hat-trick.
Yeah, they're out in their feet here, Erina. They had about 4 or 5 people behind the tap there.
And a penalty goes against the Eagles. The entrance withstanding a few sets of 6 on their goal line. That's good signs. Shane Wooden will be happy with that. He'd be thrilled with the 40 points they've scored, but he'd be even happier if they could hold Erina to 0.
Yeah, they've got the foot on the throat at the moment. I think the coach, the one thing in the second half he'll be talking about is don't take that foot off, put him to the sword.
Nice catch in the crowd there. No money on the line, unfortunately, for that spectator. The entrance now, 40 to 0 they lead. Killick comes to Doherty. Doherty to Pearsall, finds McCudden. McCudden back on the inside to Nelson, who put it down. Grant Nelson was through the hole, couldn't hold on to it. Just a couple of little errors creeping into the Tigers game. You can forgive them for maybe having one eye on next weekend. Burrell again putting his hand up for some work. Fitzpatrick, Clements. Well, it's been the Burrell and Clements show for the Eagles.
Oh, they're basically having 2 hit-ups each for the set and the kick. No, the other forwards just don't seem to be getting involved like those two.
Fitzpatrick kicks for touch after the penalty. Another opportunity here for the Eagles. Full set of 6 inside the 20. Comes to Pont. Pont, that's a 17. Fraser who's out there. Fraser will play a 12 away. Pont in at dummy half. Comes to Elliott. Elliott through the hands to O'Brien. O'Brien on the charge. O'Brien for the line. Doherty does well to hold on to him.
That was a good one-on-one tackle there from Doherty.
He's a metre short, not even. Pont comes to Elliott. Elliott to Clements. Clements only knows one way. He'll go forward. 3 in on the tackle, though. Pearsall, McCudden in there as well. Pont. Elliott. Elliott to Sheen. Sheen steps off the right foot, but there's just a wall of Tigers defenders in front of him. There are no holes in this Tigers defence. Comes to Elliott. Elliott throws the dummy, steps off the left, and again, the Tigers are there in numbers.
They've just got no answers here, Aaron, and they seem to be plodding to 4 and hoping for the best of the kick on the line.
Comes to Fitzpatrick on the last. Fitzpatrick through the hands to Shoveler. Shoveler beats Nelson. Shoveler for the line. He's chopped down just short. It's Nwangatabu over there, Tim.
Oh, the front row. That's huge from the front row. Good scramble defence from the entrance there. He's earned his break. He's gone off for a spell, and poor Erina, they're going to see another starting front row come on fresh at 40-0 down.
Noah Easton back out there for the Tigers. The entrance will play the ball about a metre out from their own line on tackle 1. Time for you to start thinking about your Ainsworth player of the match, Tim.
Oh, you would have had to think 20 minutes at the start of the game. Sione Tonga had the man of the match wrapped up. He only got through 30 minutes, so we might find someone else, but he certainly had a good 30 minutes. They'll be praying that he's right for the grand final next week.
Yeah, next weekend, Bar TV Sports live coverage of the Central Coast Rugby League Tooheys Cup Grand Final. Coming to you from Woy Woy Oval. And it'll be the two juggernauts of Central Coast Rugby League. Wyong taking on the entrance. Barring an absolute miracle here as a penalty goes to the entrance. Pearce will kick this one into touch and the entrance will go back on the attack. No hurry to get play back underway here, the Tigers. They'll definitely have one eye on next week now. Just be looking to get through this last 20 minutes. Chant runs into right. O'Brien in on the tackle as well. Killick comes to Doherty. Doherty to A-Church. And that's a good tackle there from Joel Fraser. Down low on A-Church. Can't run without legs. Comes to Pearce or McCudden. McCudden nearly broke out of that tackle. He's wrestled to the ground, 30 away from the line. Killick comes to Easton. Easton gets the offload away to Pearsall. Pearsall to Doherty. Doherty jinks at the line. He's inside the 20 now, Ryan Doherty. He'll play the ball. Couple of tackles left here for the Tigers. Killick goes to Pearsall down the short side. Pearsall with a kick in behind, looking for the repeat set. Sheens gets across there, but they force him in goals. Nice little kick there from Will Pearsall. Yeah. Sheens just couldn't get back into the field of play.
Had it on a string there. Repeat set. That's all you want to see as a coach. Just build that pressure. If they can play like this against next week, it's the grand final's anyone's game.
They do hold a victory over the Warangaroos. The entrance, they defeated them 24-22 at EDSAC Oval early on in the season. But since then, Wyong back-to-back victories over the Tigers. This performance will give them a lot of confidence going into next weekend as Easton comes back on the charge. He'll be brought down 30 away. Fraser lying around the ruck. Comes to Doherty. O'Brien looked to put a shot on. Doherty did well to avoid it.
All those little niggles down through the week don't feel as bad when you win 40-0.
Woods now back on the angle. Woods fighting, gets to the 10. They're only 10 away here, the Tigers, 40-0. Still 17 minutes left in this one. Comes to A-Church. A-Church to Pearsall. That one's battered down by Shoveler. He'll come back for a scrum feed. Tigers will have a full set of 6 on the Erina try line, and there's plenty of Erina players, hands on hips, hands on knees. It's going to be a tough last 16 or so minutes, Tim.
Yeah, motivation must be at an all-time low here for poor old Erina. The sun's gone down, the wind's picked up, it's getting chilly. It's hard to put your body on the line when the game's over and it's 40-0 down, so they'll certainly have to dig deep here to keep a bit of respect in it of what's left.
Pearsall will feed the scrum. They're deep to the left here, the Tigers. Comes to Woods. Woods to Doherty. Wright came out of the line to snuff out any chance on the left. They've still got numbers this way, though, as they come to Woods. Woods back towards the play the ball. Clements is there. Jono right in on the tackle again. Killick now. Comes to Doherty. Doherty throws the dummy. Comes back towards the centre. Finds Woods again. Woods with the offload to Easton. Easton wrestling, fighting, trying to get the arms free. Easton gets the offload away to Woods. Woods for the line. He doesn't get there. Centimetres short. He's only been out there for 10 or so minutes, but he probably deserves a try, Woods, as it comes to Pearce or Grant Nelson. Nelson for the line, the Erina defence. Scramble well. Comes to Killick. Pearsall now. Pearsall, all his options were in front of him on the left. He beats one. He's wrestled to the ground by Pont. This will be the last tackle. Pearsall will play it 5 away. Comes to Killick. Killick will put the kick in behind. That one will be too big.
Yeah, the first choice kicker there. Pearsall got caught on the 5th and had to go to the backup kicker, the captain, and dribbled it a bit too far.
Can probably afford to kick one dead at 40-0 up with 15 to go.
Wouldn't be surprised if you see him work for a field goal soon, Dan. They'll want that in the arsenal if they can get through a set and pop a field goal coming in grand final week.
Marson will play it. Shoveler is wrestled to the ground, 10 shy of halfway. Comes to Clements. Clements brought down 2 metres inside his own territory. Elliott looking for a way through. Killick does well in the tackle. Pont out of dummy half, gets the offload away to Elliott, who kicks high. It's not the deepest of kicks. It comes down to O'Brien. O'Brien pops it out, and Harley Ridge is absolutely blowing up. He thought he was going to run 65 to score there, Harley Ridge.
Yeah, to be honest, Dan, I can see why he's blowing up. I didn't really see a knock on in there, so you feel a little hard done by.
He is absolutely blowing up. His team is leading 40 points to 0. They're 14 minutes away from a grand final, and he's throwing all his toys out of the cot.
As a coach, you'd like to see that passion, Dan. Come on.
Comes to Fitzpatrick now from the scrum win. Burrell again.
He's got to be up over 20 hit-ups, this big man. He's had a monster of a game in a team that's lost 40-0. He can hold his head high.
Trent Pye now on the charge. And they've found a forward pass. So nothing going right for the Eagles today. Steve Pont asking the question. Trent Pye down, getting another stretch.
Is this the notorious cramp again, Dan? Just take him off. They're 40-0 down.
Oh, in their defence, I'm not sure that they've got any more fit bodies on the bench, Erina. Might be a case of just stay out there and do your best, Trent. And besides today, a good season for the Eagles. They make it to the preliminary final, but this will certainly leave a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, we said before the game, Dan, both coaches would feel like if they didn't make the grand final, it'd be a disappointing season. They both had rosters to say they'd be right in with a chance to win the grand final, and the showing of this in the semi-final, 40-0 down, it's going to be a long pre-season for them.
Well, they've had no luck with injuries today. The bounce of the ball hasn't gone their way. They've made errors at times when they look like they could get back into the game, and on the other side of the ball, take nothing away from the Entrance Tigers. They've been absolutely outstanding today. Really led from the front, spoke earlier in the game about the need for Erina to go with the Entrance big men. Well, the Entrance big men have dominated that middle third of the game.
Yeah, they have 2 quality front rows, like you said, Dan, and they bring another 2 quality front rows off in the 20-minute mark. So teams will find it hard to go with them if they keep this side together next year as well.
They are the defending premiers, the Tigers. They won't want to give up their title without a fight. And they'll get a chance on the final day of the season to defend their crown as we see another injury here for Erina. They'll be lucky to finish this game with 13 players, the way they're going. Looks like Kenny Tafata is going to make his way back onto the field. Joel Fraser needing assistance. Just adding injury to insult, really. This finish to the game for the Eagles. Matt Nelson plays the ball. It comes to Perry LeBrock. LeBrock, and a good shot there from Shoveler.
He'll be hungry for that hat-trick, Dan. He won't take the foot off the pedal.
Comes to Ridge. Speaking of not taking the foot off the pedal, Harley Ridge up over halfway. Plays it 5 metres inside Erina territory. A-Church on the charge. A-Church met by 3 Erina defenders. Killick in at dummy half. They go past Easton. Pearsall kicks him behind. The winger's up. Chance here for Nelson, who's coming through. He can't pick it up. He was flying through there, Matt Nelson. Just didn't get the bounce he was looking for. Lovely little kick from Pearsall.
Yeah, he certainly had the jump on him there. If he takes that cleanly, it'd be hard to stop.
Now, Erina, again, having to work it away from their own try line. And this entrance defence, it's just suffocating them at the moment. Tafata back out there. And even he is driven backwards by the 2 starting front rowers, Easton and A-Church. Pont goes to Elliott. Elliott to O'Brien. No, O'Brien's brought down 22 metres out from his own line. Clement up over the 30.
Chalk him up for another hit up, Dan. I don't think he's missed a set without missing a hit up, Clement.
Last tackle comes to Elliott. Pressure's good from Woods. Straight down the throat of Grant Nelson. Nelson back up over halfway. Burrell can't wrap him up. Tafata finally does. But they're inside Erina territory. 10 minutes to go here in this preliminary final. Central Coast Rugby League Tooheys Cup. Corrigan with the ball.
Very poor kick chase there from Erina, Dan. I think they just kicked it and waited for him to run back.
They're out on their feet, the poor old Eagles. Corrigan will play it. 32 away. Comes to A-Church. A-Church runs at O'Brien. They managed to get 3 in on the tackle. O'Brien and Burrell were there. Killick finds Chant. Chant looking for that hole. Closes quickly on him. Clement in on the tackle. Comes to Woods. Woods steps off the right and again tries to get the arm free. They finally bring him down. They're only 5 away here, the Tigers. Last tackle. Pearsall to the right. They go that way. Pearsall now puts the kick in behind. Sheens comes across. Corrigan cleans him up though. And that'll be a goal line dropout. No reprieve here for the Eagles. This will be a long 9 minutes for Erina.
We're certainly in no rush to take the drop out here. They'll be praying for this full-time whistle, Dan.
There's the short restart across to right. It's been taken by Harley Ridge though. Ridge will be brought down only 8 away from the line. He'll be a brave man to bet against them scoring here, the Tigers, as it comes to A-Church.
They're set up to the right, got them for numbers. Good depth.
A-Church will play it, comes to Killick. Killick to Doherty, Doherty to Pearsall, Pearsall to Nelson, Nelson to Corrigan to Matt Nelson, and Matt Nelson crosses in the corner. Easy as you like for the entrance. Matt Nelson scores his first try of the day, and that's 44 points to 0 with 8 minutes to go.
You could see it, the writing was on the wall. They had them for numbers, set up good depth, and just through the hands. Too clinical there, the entrance, and Clubby's looking for the 50 here, Dan. There's still 8 to go. They'll get a couple more sets, and I'll find it hard to see how Erina are going to hold them out from getting to 50 at the moment.
Heads are down over there for the Eagles. As I said, they've had a good season, but this will leave a bitter taste in their mouth, this defeat. They would have come here on a high after beating Woi Woi last weekend, especially in the way they did it, coming from behind, scoring in the final minutes to win the game. They would have come into this one with a lot of confidence, knowing that they pushed the entrance in both of their fixtures this season, and the entrance Tigers have just blown them out of the water. Matt Killick lining up the conversion attempt. 44 points to 0.
Would you be worried if you're the Wyong coach, Dan?
Killick strikes it and they wave it away. Would I be worried? Well, it was only last week that you knocked the entrance off, so Wyong will certainly be confident. They won't go in overconfident though, the Roos. They know that this entrance team won't give up their premiership without a fight. But the last 2 times that they've played, Wyong have won fairly convincingly. So it's all on the entrance. They need to improve from last weekend. They've come out today and put in a very good performance. They'll take a lot of confidence out of this as Fitzpatrick goes short, cross to right. Right bats it back, they get it back. Comes down to Marson. Marson will play it 35 away. Right now on the charge. He'll be brought down 25 away. Can they get on the score sheet here? The Eagles, Tafata.
Yeah, they had a big crowd here too, Dan, Erina. Certainly outnumbered the entrance fans, and thought that might hold sway with the referee, but that was put to bed after 10 minutes when it was 16-0.
Shoveler will play it only metres away. Pont finds Sheen. Sheen's jinking around, looking for a way through. Probably wouldn't want to run at Noah Easton. He's brought down 10 away. Pont comes to Clements. Clements charges to the line. Can he get there, Clements? He's held up. He deserved a try, Oliver Clements. He's been Erina's best. Himself and Burrell, and that was the last tackle as well, Tim.
Yeah, if anyone deserves a try for Erina today, it's been Clements. He's been the standout performer, him and Burrells. They've been having either 1 or 2 hit-ups every set. I don't think they've missed one between them.
Woods is brought down just outside his own 10. Pont in on the tackle. Comes to Corrigan. Corrigan runs straight into the shoulder of Tafata. And he's wrestled to the ground on his own 20. And now, case of the cramps here for Sean Corrigan, who's back to his feet.
You're allowed those cramps when you're 44-0 up, Dan, and there's 4 minutes to go.
Hey, Church. He backs his way up towards his own 30. Comes to Chant. Chant met by 3 Erina defenders. Pont and Tafata in on the tackle.
Good carry there from Woods.
Just had a viewer tune in. My mail is Danny Lawrence went to hospital in the ambulance with a punctured lung. So thanks very much, Graham Tanner, for filling us in there as Sheens collects the kick, and Sheens has made a nice little break from the back. Well, let's hope that Danny Lawrence is okay. Now, well wishes go out to him. Punctured lung is nothing to turn your nose up at. Serious injury there for Danny Lawrence. As it comes to Clements. Clements will play it 32 away from the entrance line. And they, to be honest, haven't looked like scoring yet today, the Eagles. Can they find a way through? Tafata will play it 25 away. Comes to Elliott. Elliott puts a kick in behind, looking for the bounce himself. Grant Nelson comes across. He bats it dead, does he? Oh, and Harley Ridge gets there first. Erina go close to opening their account. Grant Nelson couldn't get a clean catch on it. Harley Ridge cleaning up the mess as we start to feel the first spots of rain.
Just to put another dampener on Erina's afternoon, Dan, the rain's about to come.
You'd think it'd hold off for a couple of minutes, surely.
Well, the way their luck's gone today, I think the heavens wide open.
It'll be Pearsall to get us back underway into the final 2 minutes here at Berkeley Vale Oval. Don't forget to tune in next Sunday as Pearsall kicks that one out on the full. Just landed right on the line. Brianna Davies, Johnny on the spot, the touch judge.
Taylor two here, Dan.
Oh.
I know it's not funny, but you'd like to get on the scoreboard in the semi-final.
Oh, you would, but they're going to take the tap. Shoveler. Tim, your man of the match for today. Ainsworth man of the match.
Leave it with me. I've got 2 minutes to go.
That one's battered down by A-Church. 6 to go here for Sheens. Pont out of dummy half. Goes to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick flat ball to Burrell. Burrell gets the offload away. Deegan comes back in field. They're getting closer here. Erina, they're into the final minute. Make sure you're tuning in next Sunday. Central Coast Rugby League Grand Final action as Burrell puts it on the deck. It'll be the Wyong Roos, the minor premiers, taking on the defending premiers, the Entrance Tigers at Woy Woy Oval, live on Bar TV Sports. I'll be there. We'll have Chris Hyde, the Woy Woy skipper, in commentary as well. Nwanga Tabu. Have you got a man of the match for us, Tim? We're in the final 30 seconds.
Oh, I'm thinking the winger, Perry LeBrock. I'm not big on wingers, Dan, but he scored 2 good tries, 1 length of the field. Certainly hasn't shirked the task. Coming and being busy in the start of the opening sets. A few good strong carries out of their own half.
I'll put Ryan Doherty's name in the hat. I think he's been good for the Tigers. He's had to slot in to the halves as well in this second half with Sione Tonga off the field. There's the full-time siren here at Berkeley Vale Oval, and a comprehensive victory for the Entrance Tigers, 44 points to 0 over the Erina Eagles. And the Entrance Tigers booked their ticket to the grand final. They'll take on the Wyong Roos next Sunday at Woy Woy Oval. Try scorers for the Tigers, Perry LeBrock with a double. He scored the opener and a 100-metre try as well. Matt Nelson, Harley Ridge, Sean Corrigan, Sione Tonga and Ryan Doherty, and Matt Fisk with the tries. Matt Killick kicking 6 from 7. Might have been 7 from 8, to be honest. I think I've lost count. And as to the Erina Eagles, they'll lick their wounds. They'll go into Mad Monday with a bad taste in their mouths after what was a good season for the Eagles. They've just been played off the park here today at Berkeley Vale. Big thank you to Tim McCanley for joining me in commentary today, Tim. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. We're about to avoid the rain, so it's held off, luckily, and congratulations to the entrance. Good luck in the grand final.
And we'll see you here live on Bar TV Sports next weekend for Central Coast Rugby League Grand Final. I'm Dan McCanley signing off.